everything will be alright.
Good morning, Everyguys. I am the teacher AZ. I do cash and cashless stuffing in my binders. I also do savings challenges and unboxings or Happy Mail. But today I'm here because I am going to tell you my why. Why did I start budgeting? The reason I'm doing this is because Budgeting April asked for some volunteers to share with you about their whys. And so I was one of the ones that volunteered. We have videos coming out today and tomorrow, so Tuesday and Wednesday. And so if you follow the hashtag ODBJ, our different budgeting journeys. And so we're going to be telling you a little bit about ourselves and telling you today why we began budgeting. There's a series of 5 weeks, but go check out Budgeting April. She's a wonderful woman, a great budgeter, just somebody that is supportive of everyone. So, my budgeting journey started many years ago. I am the youngest of 5, and when my brothers and sisters were growing up, times were different. And my parents didn't have a lot of money because they had 4 extra mouths to feed. I didn't come along until much later. My closest sibling to me is 13 years older than me. So I had a much different childhood than they did. They talk about, not having money for shoes, and my dad would have to piece together his shoes and tie his shoes together so that he could go to school. That didn't happen while I was growing up. I had 4 extra parents because of my brothers and sisters. So not only did I have my mom and dad, but I had 4 other parents. So I guess you could say I was spoiled. Growing up, my parents would always say, that you had to save. My mom used coupons. I learned how to coupon because of her. But you had to save. We went to the bank almost once a week, if not more than once a week. And it was to put money in the bank, take money out of the bank. They had checking accounts, savings accounts, the whole 9 yards. But as I grew up, I knew that you had to have money. I got a job when I was 16. I saved my money because I was going to college. Well, they really don't prepare you for the real world. I got my first credit card when I believe I was 18 or 19 at the university. So that became my problem. Well, I could just pay my bills off next month when I get my statement. So I can just charge it, and then worry about it when it comes in. It became my legacy. So I still use my credit cards today, but it's different. One of my whys is because I don't want to have to live paycheck to paycheck. It's very stressful. That's my first why. I want to show you guys my planner. And this is what I do with my planner on the weeks, because I don't have enough stickers to do all of my weeks. So instead of just doing 1 week in the month, I color. So after I got done at the university, I got my bachelor's degree. I started working 2 days after I graduated. And, you know, I was making good money. I was able to pay all my bills. No problem, you know. That job ended. It was a seasonal job. That job ended, and so I had to move back home. I then found a job further away in a big city in Phoenix, and I started working, and there were so many things to do, so many experience to have. It was amazing. So my 20s and 30s, I did a lot of stuff. I traveled. I did so many things. When I was 28, I decided I wanted to go back to school. And my choices were either pharmacy or become a teacher. And I didn't know which way to go. Pharmacy, I would basically have to be out of a job for 3 years minimum. If I became a teacher, I could still work while taking classes. So at that time, I already had a house, mortgage to pay, other bills to pay, so I needed to work, so I went to teaching. I did take out some loans, but I was doing pretty good, and I paid off my loans right away as soon as I finished school. It was maybe $5,000 at the most, so I paid that off pretty quickly. But being a teacher, nobody tells you how much you spend on your classroom. No one says that. They don't teach you that when you take the classes. No one says that. So I started buying things for my classroom because the school district didn't have the money to give me for it. I had to buy posters. I had to buy, markers for my classroom, just different things that the district doesn't supply you with. So I didn't know that. So that became where I really went into debt. When I found anything cheap on clearance at a very good deal, I would buy it because I could use it in my classroom. After I've been teaching for a few years, I realized this is a burden to me. I'm stressed out all the time. Not only because, I'm teaching, it's a stressful job. I need to pay my bills. Where is that money coming from? I'm single, no kids, I have a mortgage to pay, and the debt is just piling up, piling up, and piling up. I just kept spending. So my why number 2 is because of the stress, an extreme amount of stress. That doesn't mean you don't have stress ever again, but it lessens the stress because you know where your money's going to and you have it set aside. For me, I'm okay having money in the bank. I need to have that money, and because it goes to certain places now. Before, it didn't matter. So it was very, very, very stressful. And then I have a third why. A few years ago, in 2019, I had a severe illness, and no one knew what my bills were, how they were paid, nothing. So they told me afterwards that I need to write everything down. And so I just started writing everything down. All of my accounts, when they were due, the phone numbers, the account numbers, everything. And so when I did that, I realized I have a lot of credit cards. And I need to pay them off. So in paying those off, it's lessened my stress. And I don't have to burden anybody else with, if something happens to me, what bills are being paid, when is it going to overdraft, all of that stuff. So those are my whys. I appreciate you sticking around with me, and I have to treat money differently now, instead of like I did before. I have to relearn and have a different relationship with money now that I'm budgeting this way. I've always budgeted, I've always managed to take care of my bills, but I've never had a place for my extra money to go. So now that I'm doing it this way, it's finally working. But I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate all your support and your love, and check out the other budgeters that are doing this. Look up the hashtag ODBJ. We have 13 today, and there'll be 13 more tomorrow. I appreciate you, and I love you.